Gotta understand, this talent doesn't even ask their agencies questions about how much they're getting paid. If all they did was they were just like, hey, can you show me the contract that you signed with people? Think I'm running a talent agency. I'm not running a talent agency. I don't think talent agencies work that well. Why? Story time. So a couple years ago, we were representing a bunch of the big broadcasters on Twitch and YouTube, and I was looking at my business and I said, I don't think we want to do this anymore. The spiritual reason for not wanting to do it is that dealing with talent, I'm trying to say this as respectfully as possible. You guys know kind of influencer personalities, right? You kind of know how influencers are. Yeah, so thank you very much for both the YouTube and Twitch chat for saying the stuff that I professionally am a little bit have to be a little bit careful with. Not interested in having a daycare. I mean, so let's just say that influencers have a lot of expectations from people they're doing business with that may be unreasonable. Add a bunch of drama to that mix, add a bunch of personal threats and stalker stuff. Maybe add, I had this influencer, and like, no word of a lie, had this influencer like not done what they did, we were on track to like make $1 million with this influencer. We were doing like a JV for a book deal, a Netflix deal, like a ton of stuff. And then that person abused like 15 women at once. And I was like, and I lost $20,000 overnight in merch alone. Okay. After that point, I was like, I am absorbing an enormous amount of liability from representing broadcasters, and I'm not getting a lot for it. But then I also have a implicit gate on how much money I can make, because the way you monetize as a talent agency is you take up to 20% of a broadcaster's sponsorship deal value. So AKA, if I get a sponsorship for, let's say like Kai Cenat for $100,000, obviously be like, what, right? I get $20,000. But the problem with this is that there is no way for me to get $40,000 or $50,000 or whatever, unless, so basically I can't increase my margins unless I do something really shady. Here's what I do. And this is happening across like 80 or 90% of Twitch deals. Let's say that I get Kai Cenat a deal for $100,000. But he doesn't know the deal is $100,000. At the current moment in time, only I know that, right? Because I'm the one that got the deal. So I tell the streamer the deal value is $20,000. I tell him that because I know he'll take it. So the actual deal value is $100,000, but I tell the streamer the deal value is $20,000. Now, let's say that I get an $100,000 deal, this $100,000 deal here. I get it for like a YouTuber or a Twitch broadcaster who has like 2,000 concurrent subs or something, or viewers or whatever. They would be super happy with $20,000. They'd be ecstatic with $100,000, but I know they'll take the deal at $20,000. So I tell them the deal is $20,000. I collect $80,000 without anyone knowing, because the brand doesn't care because it's the same deal. And then I also take 20% of the $20,000. Okay, so my total take home as a talent agency just went from the $20,000 maximum, right, that I could make, to literally making $80,000 plus 20%. Okay, and that's how most talent agencies are operating on Twitch and on YouTube right now. So I realized that the only way to increase my own take home from my talent agency was to be super, super unethical, like unreasonably unethical. And I was not willing to make that decision. I didn't want to do that. So instead, basically overnight, we messaged all of our talent simultaneously and said, you are off contract, go join other talent agencies, go do other stuff. We can't find a way to do this ethically, so you're free to go. Like, do whatever you want. And then we decided to represent the brand side of things instead. So with the brand side of deals, so now we work for people like Amazon, the US Army, etc., right? And if Amazon gives us, let's say like $500,000 in total ad budget, I can now run that through X agencies, Y influencers, Z paid ads, okay? There's transparency on the brand side because they're the ones giving us the money. And there's total transparency on the influencer side because we're the ones paying them directly. And there's no split. There's no percentage or anything like that. So the business model is much, much more ethical and much better, and the margins are much higher. But most people can't represent brands. They can only represent talent because they're bad at doing business. And so it's much easier to be unethical and to monetize that way, as the majority of talent agencies do. Now, sadly, the weakness with this business strategy that we have now is, let's say that I have this total ad budget and I still need to go to a talent agency to act, which happens a lot. Where does your cut come from as a brand agent? The brand pays us a fee to do our work, a fee and a retainer fee. So the way that we do business now, we literally take zero money from creators. And that is like the most ethical I think I can operate at. We charge transparent fees to do the actual work to the brand, and then we can spend the ad budget as we please up to the goals that we are trying to reach for that brand. So I feel like this is a much better system than the system that we ran before. The problem is that we still have to run through talent agencies. So for example, let's say that I want to do something through OTK. I'm not saying OTK is an unethical talent agency. I actually don't personally know what their splits are. So I'm not saying that. I'm just using them as a random example because a lot of people know who OTK is. The problem is, let's say that I'm going through a talent agency that does this, okay? I can't stop them from taking that money out for creators and doing this bad deal for those creators. I just can't. All I have is the money. And a lot of times talent agencies, they literally tell me, they say, don't talk to our talent. We will talk to our talent. Like you cannot, so no, we can't contact the creator directly because that's really unethical. Okay, like if it's a good question though, right? If you sign with a talent agency and you're exclusive to that talent agency, I can do it, but I'm burning a lot of bridges to do that by going directly to a creator and saying, hey, we have the money for you. And a lot of times what will happen is we will go to the talent. We'll say, hey, we've got a $50,000 deal for you. The talent agency told that talent that it was a $25,000 deal because they're collecting $25,000 off the top. And now there's a huge problem. And the reality is that talent agency just will never work with us again. So they're being unethical, but they punish us by getting their access to the talent. And the real enemy in this, obviously, is the talent agency. The problem is that the creator chooses to sign an exclusive contract with that talent agency. There's nothing I can do about that. So that's like, unfortunately, the only way we can really survive to be able to contact talent. And this is one of the reasons why we don't deal with a lot of people on Twitch anymore, because most of the people on things like YouTube are just not dealing with this kind of stuff anymore. This is basically exclusively like a Twitch problem where all this kind of predatory stuff is happening. We would have to burn that creator because that creator signed an exclusive agreement with that talent agency, and we don't really have an option to do anything else. Talent agencies sound like a scam. Most talent agencies are a scam, especially exclusive ones. There are some exceptions, including ones that operate on Twitch. Do you know which agencies do scam deals like that? Are all of them like that? I know exactly what agencies do those deals. I can tell you the following. If somebody is trying to get you to sign exclusively to a talent agency, don't do it. Do you blacklist talent agencies that operate like that? No, we can't. We can't do that. So like, imagine that like you're you sell flour for dough, okay? And you know that 95% of bakeries are doing some serious scam shit. Like, you still got to sell the flour. Like, I can't, like, this might sound like bad to you, but I can't be responsible for a creator signing a contract under a totally different company. That can't be on me. And then I just don't do business because all of these people are making that decision to get they're not even gonna, like, this talent, you've got to understand, this talent doesn't even ask their agencies questions about how much they're getting paid. If all they did was they were just like, hey, can you show me the contract that you signed with the brand to get paid? What did you sign? And any talent agency that's ethical, they should be more than willing to do that. But he said the talent is dumb. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It's not my responsibility, or like it ought not be, right, to like blacklist every single talent agency that's unethical, because I'd be blacklisting practically the entire industry, and then I'd be out of business. So when I'm talking about this problem, and this is one of the reasons why I if people were here earlier in my broadcast, I talked about how previously I was running over 90% of my income, my revenue, my ad spend through Twitch, and now I'm running less than 5%. So this is a big reason why. So like, in a way, I have blacklisted them, but I've not done it by not working with those agencies. I've done it by switching platforms. So I advertise on YouTube now. YouTube is our primary platform for advertisement. And then I think it's TikTok. And then it's like various other platforms. So we no longer advertise on Twitch, in part because we disagree with this philosophy of that talent agencies are doing. But also just because we don't really get the return on advertising spend for our clients that I would expect to be good. There is no situation where I could run ads on Twitch and not do better on a platform like Google Ads or AdSense or YouTube. Running ads on YouTube will always be superior to running ads on Twitch, period. End of story. There would be like 1 or 2 exceptions to that, which is like if you've got a brand new game and you want a streamer to sponsor it and it kind of takes off. But even games that like streamers have made and then promoted haven't gone anywhere at all. And just to give you the ratio, like let me just give you guys the ratio of YouTube ad conversions to Twitch conversions. For every 1 person that clicks on a Twitch ad or interacts with a Twitch ad, there'll be 200 to do it on YouTube. 200. 200. So like if I'm going to advertise on Twitch and I'm going to do non-gaming advertising on Twitch, you really have to ask yourself why. If Kick was able to run ads, would you run ads? I have talked to all of the highest level people at Kick. I have told them right now, if Kick messaged me and said, we have an ad system, I would spend like 2 to 5 mil with them today. I have the budget, but they don't have the tech. They can't do it. I have buckets of advertising spend. And the problem is most of my advertising spend has to be here in this green bucket, which is like my brand safe bucket. But I have a lot of other brands who are unsafe brands who want to advertise places and want to test budget. And actually the place where I can get good returns on investments for advertising on unsafe brand platforms is pretty limited. And I would love to run more budget here. I've got the brands that can do it. Brands that need this space and don't care about it. But Kick doesn't have a sophisticated enough ad system. And I say sophisticated, I mean it doesn't have an ad system. You never advertise on Kick because you can't trust their KPIs. Do you mean like their data? I wouldn't be using their data. Like I would be using our data. So like we would use our own affiliate codes and like tracking and stuff like that to figure that out. Yeah. So funny enough, like my not safe for work ad bucket is pretty much exclusively podcasts. Like we advertise a lot on comedy podcasts. What are some examples of unsafe brands? Cryptocurrency stuff, adult stuff, Web3 stuff. Basically like people that don't care about like brand safety because they have no HR department. Casinos, gambling, yeah. Mm-hmm. We haven't looked at Truth Social. I actually don't know anything about that platform. We've looked at Rumble. Rumble actually can put up some pretty good numbers if you orient your advertising to the demographic that it serves. He's basically telling advertisers that non-gaming advertising is worthless on Twitch. Yeah, I am saying that. That's basically what I'm saying. Okay, so sorry. So let me be really clear. When I say Twitch ads, because you just asked a good question, I am not saying I run. So you know the ads that you guys see, like the ad break that we just did, I don't run those ads. Those are not the ads I'm talking about. Anyone that runs those ads is actually insane. So what I'm talking about is like we would either run a bounty board ad or we would directly sponsor a creator to do some kind of call to action or to be like involved in a product or service. So I don't run ads against Twitch's actual ad backend. I think I can't tell you why I don't do it. I think that there are a lot of NDA things with our agency relationship with Twitch as to why I can't run. I think I can say really generally that the cost of entering to run those ads on Twitch is really, really high, really unreasonably high. So let's say a brand comes to me and says, I've got $1 million to spend on ads. And let's say that the minimum I can spend on Twitch is like 20% of that, just arbitrary numbers. It isn't really. So I would have to spend $200,000 on a test campaign for Twitch because that's the minimum they'll talk to me to run an ad at that level. Why would I ever do that when I can go to Google, spend $500 and know instantly what my ads are doing? You see what I mean? I don't believe in running ads that way. I think that's a very bad way to run ads. I think that the people that are running those ads, they're people who are very old school agencies and they don't understand new media marketing. So that's something that I avoid entirely. In the past years, there's less agencies left on Twitch. It's not so that there's less agency. It's just that the agencies have consolidated. Like Mythic pretty much runs everything now. And like Loaded runs like some of that stuff. That encompasses at least 90%. You're insinuating that some of those agencies are deceiving their talent. I'm not insinuating anything. What I'm saying is that we are unwilling to work with the majority of Twitch agencies because of ethical reasons. You can take that however you want. I'm not insinuating anything. I'm telling you how I run my business. Loving to come back and you give straightforward and direct info for free. That's what I'm here for, man. Like, I just want to give back, give value.